Welcome back to the Colorado Springs Business Podcast. My name is Andrew Hasley, and I am the host of the show. Today we have on Charissa Woodward with Grace to Organize. So Charissa, tell us in a sentence or two what you do.
Okay, so I help people who are overwhelmed with clutter to declutter, and then I help them organize the stuff that they're keeping after we get rid of the things they don't want anymore.
So you really help manage that stress.
Yes, people are stressed out by too much stuff. They don't know what to do with it. Where do I put it? It's always in a different place.
Look at this over here.
You know, that's not too bad, Andrew.
Okay.
I mean, minor improvements. I tell people I would even benefit from an organizer.
Okay.
Because you can always improve systems.
For sure.
So I'm just there to help people improve their systems.
I can't wait to get into that in this episode, and I'm going to read the ads and the sponsors before we do that.
Perfect.
So today we are sponsored by Vehement Visuals, which is my video production company. We really help businesses. We're a B2B kind of business, and we help tell their stories in compelling ways and help them start creating a video strategy for their business because, it can really help you grow your business faster. There's like some statistics numbers out there that probably prove that too.
Absolutely. People love visual, especially with organizing, right? They want to see before and after.
Time lapses would be really effective for you, I think, because
like that's where it's really fast.
Yeah, it's like one stationary camera. You can also get complex with it, make it move slowly over time, so it looks like cinematic kind of. But so it would really just like, there's a lot of satisfaction in watching time lapses because it's like seeing something that's just so disgusting or disgruntled or disorganized.
Yeah.
Being cleaned really fast, like it's just satisfying. It's like, watching a knife cutting things. Yeah. That's a trend on a TikTok or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's funny.
Yeah. So that's Vehement Visuals. We really focus on creating and implementation video strategies for businesses. So the second ad for today is the Colorado Springs Business Podcast advertising space right here at the beginning of every episode. So if you'd like us to promote your business at the beginning of every episode, reading a 15-second to a minute-long ad script and, maybe riffing a little bit on it, we can make that happen. So reach out to COS Business Podcast at gmail.com for advertising space on the show. So that's the second advertisement. The third advertisement is more of just like promoting the Colorado Springs Business Podcast Patreon account, which Patreon accounts allow us to provide extra content and bonus stuff, but it also provides the listeners a way to help support the show because this show takes a lot to create, a lot of time, a lot of effort to organize, and we get to do cool stuff like creating this new backdrop,
which is amazing.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, and like there's like three different tiers for the Patreon. It's like a $3 monthly membership and a $5 monthly membership and a $10 one. I'm actually going to work on the bonus content that comes in those. I still need to just take the time to really build the Patreon a little bit. I just haven't yet, and I still have 2 people that I need to send stickers. I haven't forgot about you.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's really all the advertisements for today. So I'm going to roll the intro music, and we're going to get in to what you do.
Awesome.
This is a show where we have real conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners who are mostly in Colorado Springs doing things in the community of Colorado Springs.
Fun.
Yes.
Oops, sorry.
I just realized I added some new buttons to this thing. I was supposed to be playing this one the whole time during that intro thing. Because it plays the whole 3-minute thing, and it would have been like while I was talking. Now I gotta edit that in there.
Oh,
I would have saved myself an edit by doing that. I'm improving my systems, decluttering my digital systems, and also my physical systems for the show as well. So
that's cool. I'm all for that.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about your business and why you got into this business. It's kind of a unique business in my opinion. I didn't even know that this kind of service existed, actually.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I met my now boyfriend. We've been together a year. When I first met him, he's like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a professional organizer." He's like, "That's a thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course it is."
For sure. If there's this problem, then there's a business.
That's a great way to put it. But it's funny because I've been good at organizing my whole life. Like 4 years old, I was redoing my grandma's pantry.
Okay.
Just always flowed out of me this gifting. But it never occurred to me that other people weren't good at organizing and didn't love it. Mm-hmm. Like for me, it energizes me. I'm excited about it. But for most people, it's a chore. It's like, why do I have to do that? And so I started realizing, oh my gosh, people could probably use my help here. So I started Grace to Organize 3 years ago. And since then, I've just seen the need more and more. People need help. They feel overwhelmed and frustrated. And I love just bringing grace into their space. So
nice. And I like that. You told me about how your name, Charissa, is Greek. Or part of it, the first part is Greek for, explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so the root of my name, Charis, is the Greek word for grace.
Okay.
So some of my clients call me Grace, which I love. But I also want people to know I'm not coming into your home to judge you. I want them to see grace even before I show up to their house. So most of the time, these are strangers that I'm showing up to their house, and they're showing me the messiest of their mess. And it's very personal, and they sometimes feel awkward, like, oh, is she going to judge me? I want people to know I'm not there to do that. And just like I said, organizing energizes me. So I see the space and I get excited, whereas they look at it and they feel dreadful or ashamed sometimes or embarrassed. And I'm like, oh, don't even worry. Like, we're good.
So that's interesting. I know Jordan Peterson says, do you know who Jordan Peterson is?
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You said you're not good with names.
I'm not. Yeah.
Well, he says clean your room. When it comes to organizing your life and getting your life together, you got to start with cleaning your room. And I wonder if you can automate that part of, because what happens when you clean your room is like you feel a sense of accomplishment, but also like there's a subliminal, or maybe not a subliminal, but a subconscious effect that it has on you when you have things that you know are disorganized. And getting those out of the way allow you to move on to organizing other parts and really help you just succeed in life.
Yes.
And he says that specifically because it's so fundamental but so important, I think. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and there's a lot of information online about that. But one of the things I like to think of is like even sensory overload. Like you think of all the messages we're subject to throughout the day. When you're on Facebook, all the information you're taking in, that's clutter. And then the visual clutter you see around you, it just adds to the mental overwhelm, and it can debilitate you from moving forward. It can keep you from taking action because you just feel like, oh, I can't. You just want to close your eyes. And that's how people are with the spaces in their homes often. They like close the door. It's like, I'm going to put this in this room, close the door and not think about it.
Yes.
But then they get to the point where they're like, I need to deal with this. And that's oftentimes when they call me because they realize.
A lot of people don't even know that they can call you though. So
I know. I'm like trying to get the word out there. I'm like, I am here to help you. People hire me for a lot of reasons, but one of them is the accountability. Like they know they can do the project, but they keep putting it off and they just need support. Like
it's
somebody to just help me. Yeah. So I love that. It's so fun for me to just be side by side with somebody and help them accomplish something they've been procrastinating on.
I feel like you say you love the sensation, the feeling of getting things organized. I feel like that same sensation is the same thing you experience when drawing or making something, and it makes me curious, do you like drawing or painting?
No, and I wish I was good at it, but I'm not. So organizing's super fun for me too because it's creative. But I'm more creative in like a cut and paste sort of way. Like I like scrapbooking.
Yeah. Hey, that's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as like looking at a blank canvas and making something look realistic is not my skill at all.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I was just curious that there was a connection there.
Yeah. No, that's a great question.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what's the difference between someone who's a house cleaner and you, an organizer?
Yeah, so actually I work well with house cleaners. They're good partners for me because oftentimes people neglect cleaning and organizing. But if you get your space organized, it's easier to clean and it's easier to maintain. Plus, it goes back to that like feeling, you know, like if you come home and you're just like, I'm not comfortable in my own home, that's not good. Like your home is your space to disconnect from everything outside.
Yes.
And have peace and enjoy yourself, your family, whatever. But if it's not clean and it's not organized, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But I like to help clean as I organize. And by that, I mean like if we're going to take everything out of the pantry, I'm not going to not wipe the shelves off for you.
Yeah.
But I don't do like routine cleaning.
Yes.
So, yeah. Does that answer your question?
I think so. So do you do routine organizing though? Or once you get things organized, do you help coach them to help it keep it organized?
Yeah. So, people call me to come once a week, once a month.
Okay.
Maybe even once a year. They just wait till they're at the point where they're like, oh, I could use a little help.
Do you get busy in spring cleaning time?
Spring, and then also right before the holidays.
Okay.
Because people are like, oh, my family's coming.
Oh, yes.
You know, I need it to look nice. So that's a big time for me, for sure.
What's some of the things you organize?
Oh, any place that has stuff I can organize.
Yeah. Like specific items, I guess.
Yeah.
Or specific sections of a house, maybe.
Sure. So garages are big, storage closets, playrooms, offices, pantries, kitchens.
When they go in and they see that it's organized, do they just feel so relieved?
They really do, honestly. And I was sharing with somebody yesterday. She's like, I found you on Google and I saw your reviews. And I told her my top love language is words of affirmation. And I read my reviews and I tear up. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
That is
And
good.
so what people respond to my service makes me feel so good. But yeah, a lot of times it's things like I feel more at peace or I feel less overwhelmed. And man, that's just such a cool thing for me to be part of.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's got to feel good.
It
for
does.
sure.
Yes.
So how long have you been in business?
3 years in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. And was it difficult getting started at first? Most likely, usually, that's how business goes.
Yeah. So I'll put it this way. Never in my life did I think I would be a business owner.
Okay.
Ever. And I'll tell you the story. So I started a Facebook page for organizing just to see if there was interest. I had a mentor at the time and she said, make a Facebook page
That's
for
a
anything
good-
you're good at. And within a month, I had 2 people reach out. One of these people knew me for 15 years.
Okay.
And she's like, I didn't even know you knew how to organize stuff. She lives in Denver. That's where I grew up. So I had about an hour drive home. And the whole way home, I was like, this is what I was made for. And I actually had this thought. You've been hoarding your gift for organizing.
Oh
My
nice.
gosh. Like, how crazy is that? And I realized I never helped anybody outside of myself or like a job. If I had a job, I'd find things to organize just because I love it.
For sure.
But it felt like a challenge.
You never utilized it as a skill.
Exactly. Yeah. And so here I am thinking I'm going to start this business. And I was like, I don't know the first thing about starting a business. But I had some really cool friends, that mentor I mentioned, and they were like, oh, you can totally figure this out. And they helped coach me through that. It took a lot of encouraging, motivation.
For sure. It's a mindset thing you have to really break when you go into starting something like that.
Yes, and it's a reflection of you. So you have to be confident. You have to know the value you offer. You have to figure out what that is worth, your time, what it's worth. And there's just a lot that goes into it. I finally feel pretty settled in now, but it took at least 1.5 years
Okay.
for me to be like comfortable.
So what are your ideal clients?
Oh, so definitely overwhelmed and busy moms.
Okay.
I do sometimes work with businesses, but I don't think they think of me as often as homeowners do.
Well, you could niche down for both. I mean, or just niche down to just one. I mean, I could see a huge need for like businesses with lots of offices that really need some work and just, jumping in there and doing that. You might have done that before.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things to do is storage closets, like office supply closets. They get neglected. And unless somebody who works there actually takes the time to do it, probably if they love organizing, they'll do it. But a lot of times it doesn't happen. And then what happens is people keep buying stuff because they can't find what they have. So I tell people organizing is knowing what you own, why you own it, and where to find it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So any person who owns something and they can't find it, they could use an organizer.
Yeah.
So I hate to be so general with my ideal client, but I really can organize any stuff. So
What about digital stuff? Do you do that kind of organizing, or that's something else?
that's actually less. So I am very visual, and I also like seeing and touching things.
And that might be a whole different industry,
kinesthetic.
I was just thinking.
It kind of is. Yeah. So I probably could, but it's not my favorite, and it's not my forte.
And you'd have to get some really good. You'd have to be really I'm not saying you're not, but to gain the trust from someone to have you go through their computer.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Right. And I like to see things.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more abstract, and that's more challenging for me.
For sure.
Which is funny to say.
I think that's a whole different industry for sure.
It is.
I was just thinking, like, if you were like specializing in businesses, you could come on board in certain companies that have like huge companies and be the COO. I don't know if that's already taken, but the chief organizing officer. Yes.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Well, there's the organizer.
Yeah.
She's got a label maker.
Because you make everyone's life in the office easier.
Oh,
so.
I love that. That would be so fun.
Yeah. So there's maybe a little pitch for you.
That's cool. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah. So you like working with moms who are overwhelmed, and that's really your ideal client and who you really enjoy working with the most, though?
Yeah. So 90% of my clients are women.
Okay.
Most of them are homeowners. Most of them have kids. But in general, just overwhelmed, busy people who don't have time or energy or want to organize their stuff.
For sure. I have some organizing that needs done, but I don't have much stuff. So I've minimalized in that. Are you familiar with minimalism?
Yes.
Okay.
So I tell people there's a scale of minimalism. There's like extreme minimalism.
Yes.
And then one of my clients the other day, I was like, I think you're like practical minimalism.
Okay.
She's like, oh, I like that. And to me, because here's the thing about minimalism. Your version of minimalism is not going to be the same as somebody else's. So it's really suited to your lifestyle.
Yes.
So people are like, I would like to be minimalist. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean to you? So again, organizing is knowing about what you own, why you own it, and where to find it.
So it ties
That's
in
the
with the
sweet
minimalism
spot.
in a way. The professional side of organizing ties in a little bit with minimalism.
Yeah.
Like I like how you said there's this extreme scale, because some people go as far as having one fork, one spoon, and one knife.
Yes. Which is not practical for somebody who has 4 kids.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
they can have
not.
4 forks, 4
Right.
spoons.
Or maybe 8 would make sense.
Yes,
Because you're
exactly.
like, okay, are you really going to wash your fork every single time you use it? Probably not. So that's the fun conversations I get to have with people.
Yes.
Is like, what works for you? And let's do that.
How much do we need of things, and how are we going to organize it?
Exactly.
So kitchen stuff, you go in there and organize pantries, because a lot of times people just throw their spices up there. So how do you when it comes to spices? Now I'm kind of just thinking as I'm going.
Go for it.
Do you put them in alphabetical order, color code, or flavor code?
No, I mean, we could, but honestly, like, that's just a little bit too tedious in my opinion.
Yes, okay.
So I just want to be super practical. The likelihood of somebody putting it back into alphabetical
It would
order,
make no sense, yeah.
not likely. Now, if they were like, this is important to me, yeah, we could do it. But I like to use the items they already have and just make it as simple as possible and use the most of the time we have together. So people pay me hourly.
Okay.
So I'm like, let's, work as fast as we can and also not be too tedious. But some people would like that.
For sure.
They'd be like, ooh, pretty.
I mean, I would think, if I'm paying an organizer, I want everything. Would you charge extra for that, or you paid hourly? So it's like,
yeah. So they're just paying for my time.
Okay.
So we're either decluttering or organizing, or we could be as tedious as they want.
For sure.
They're just paying for me to be there with them. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Like, make sure all my toilet papers are outside.
Yes. And the aesthetic look is so pretty.
Yeah.
I ask people, do you want a Pinterest pantry?
Oh, okay.
Something you could take a picture of and post, and people would be like, oh, I love that.
That's fun. That's actually a good marketing tool you could use to promote your business.
Yeah.
Have, because if people are set it up as they can take pictures of it, put it on Instagram, and it's going to be aesthetic, like beautiful, because people do those layouts of food like on the table, and they it's like art, like the way they organize it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's cool. You could do that as a promotional piece, because when they post that, they're going to promote you as well, and then that could really lead to more business.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a fun thought. I don't know if you're already doing that or not, though.
No, and I don't focus on that a lot. Most of my clients, though, that's not their dream.
Okay.
They're just trying to be less overwhelmed.
Yes.
And so, they're like, I'm fine if it's not matching or super pretty. But I do like those projects. They're actually
sure.
pretty fun.
So, I mean, maybe if you promoted them a little more.
Yeah.
You could find that like a certain percentage of your clients that already exist would like that.
Yes, that is so true. So there's the plug. If you want a Pinterest pantry.
Yeah, I like the way you're calling it a Pinterest pantry. That sounds cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. That's just an idea.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking marketing, like we're a video production company, but it's about strategy. We're essentially an agency, I guess is what you would call it. And we focus on what creative ideas and solutions to promote your business, and tailored, the creative ideas are tailored to specific ideas for your business.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always thinking in that realm.
Can I ask you a random question?
Sure.
Okay. Do you lay in bed at night and just think of creative ideas?
Sometimes.
Okay, I could see that.
I had a dream 2 nights ago because I was editing all day, and I was editing in my dream, and it was insane, and I was making so many creative breakthroughs in the edit, but then I couldn't remember any of the breakthroughs. But then I went to edit the next day, or the following after waking up, and I was like, got really creative in the project that I was editing, and it was like really, I did some really cool, and I love over delivering. I love providing excellent customer service. By that I mean like giving myself wild deadlines, or providing so much value, and just showing that I care, and it just feels good. And also, that's a long-term play. A lot of people will be like, I'm doing this extra stuff, you owe me extra money. I'm not thinking in that terms. I'm thinking of building a relationship. I'm thinking of long-term. I'm thinking of how they're going to remember how much I overperformed, and they're going to be more likely to refer me. They're going to, like, down the line. It's building something for the long term. A lot of people, when they get into business, or they're not even business minded, they don't think long term. They think short term.
Yeah.
They think I need this money or this that, and they don't see how like there's actually more money involved if you think long term.
Yeah, you add value wherever you go.
Yes.
Well, that's obvious when I look at the studio and I see what you're doing to interview business owners. I'm like, that is so awesome that you offer value. And that's nice too, because it's not like I'm expecting anything from you.
Exactly.
But you're just planting seeds, and you're going to get a harvest.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And the harvest is coming.
Yes, that's good.
It's I'm not talking about any specific deals, but I have had some good things come my way over the last couple of days.
That's awesome.
So it's been hard for me to think of creative ideas before bedtime, laying in bed, because I've been laying in bed just so excited.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It really is.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what are some of your favorite projects? Did I already ask that?
You did not.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. One of my favorite current projects. This woman has a giant barn in her backyard. I wish I knew the size of it so you could get a visual, but it's huge. And she has, 5 kids and 13 grandkids.
Okay.
And they've been kind of collecting stuff in this barn for years. Well, they have to knock it down on their property. They're making changes. And so she has to empty the entire thing. So years and years.
There might be a lot of items
stuff.
like worth a lot of money in there.
Yeah.
Let them know
she's
that.
selling some of them. A lot of it she's donating. I'm so grateful. This is so random, but I acquired a light bright from her the other day.
That is so awesome. I haven't seen one of those since I was a kid.
I know. And it made me feel so nostalgic. And she's like, oh, we could throw that away. It probably doesn't work. And I was like, can I have it? And she was like, of course you could have it. Plug it in, light works. And I took it home. Yeah. And I was like, I have a light. Anyway, random story. But it's so fun for me because it's such a huge project, and to see it empty is going to be so satisfying. And for her to try to go through that by herself, or she's even tried to do it with her family before. But what happens? They get distracted by a light bright or their toy that they had 20 years ago.
How do you not get distracted by a light bright?
Well, I did get distracted by a light bright, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But, if I'm a third party,
yes,
and she's paying me, so we're more likely to stay on task and get so much more done, and we do. And it just makes me, when I leave, I feel so energized. And she's tired. She's like, oh, but it's just so fun. So that's one thing I love. I love helping people who are just moving into a new house, because moving is a lot of work already. But to help people with a clean slate is nice, because we get to organize them right away. So there's not, years later, oh, the system hasn't ever been working, let's fix it. like, let's create a system right now.
Yes.
So the whole time you're in this home, it's a positive experience. So that's really fun. I've done some random jobs. Like one time I organized a guy's car. Like,
Okay.
it was so random, but
A car? Like, was it big or anything? Or
it's like a mid-sized car.
okay.
But
What do you need to organize inside of a car?
Yeah, I mean, you would wonder, right? But he he wears a lot of hats.
Okay.
So it's
Like,
kind of
literally?
like, well,
Did
there
he have
were
a lot of
hats in there. There were. But he does so many different things and goes so many different places. So he always has stuff in there for like each job he's doing. And like,
Oh, okay.
so he's a creative person. Like he's an author. He draws. He
Nice.
works part-time. You know, so he's always here and there. So he keeps a lot of stuff in his car, which is actually true for me too. I'm all over the place. But anyway, he was like, you know, my car's kind of a mess. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll clean it up. And I even labeled everything in there, which I had never done before. But I like put, you know, this is where your art stuff goes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's in a basket. And so you just take it out. And yeah, that was pretty fun.
Cool. So would you say business is picking up or?
Yes. So I had a like dry spell there with COVID, of course. But consistently, I probably get at least 1 or 2 new clients every week. And then I'll graduate a client, like we finish whatever they need to do. And they just keep my number in their back pocket if they need me again, sort of thing. But then that one falls off and another 1 or 2 come in. And so it's just this constant flow.
Where do you think your leads are coming from?
Google.
Google? Okay.
Yeah, people Google organizers Colorado Springs.
Oh,
and
are you on top?
I think I'm second.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of organizers, first of all.
Yes.
And I've worked really hard to make my online presence, you know, good. I'm not the best at it, but I've tried.
You had that. You're doing good in SEO apparently.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm no expert, but I've worked on getting reviews,
Yes,
keeping my
that's
website updated.
Reviews are one of the biggest weight when it comes to ranking. Reviews hold some of the heaviest weight. So by that I mean like there's some of it's like a point system. Think of it as a point system, a like or maybe someone sharing your page or something. But like a review has like more points essentially, so it weighs more.
Yeah, well, and 2, if somebody Googles organizers in Colorado Springs and they see this business only has 2 reviews, they're less likely to click on it because they're like, oh, do they do much work? I don't really know.
I only have 1 review, guys. If you've done business with me. I've not worked on SEO or Google actually, just because that hasn't been my strategy.
Yeah.
Just what works. But I would like to get that going. I just actually got it like set up not even like a month ago.
Oh my gosh.
A couple
Okay,
months ago.
I'm giving you a review.
I appreciate
today.
that.
You're
Vehement
welcome.
Visuals is the page.
Cool.
I want the location to be here. It will be here. I just have to update it.
Okay.
So I just haven't yet. So yeah.
Yeah.
You got to
That's-
send the card and then you got to do that. And that thing.
Oh.
You know, they send you the code.
Yeah.
Like with an actual card
Yeah.
instead of digital, because they probably have to really secure that because a lot of people take advantage. So you have to make sure it's
True.
real is what I mean.
Yeah, and they want to make sure that your address is legit.
That's the most part. Yeah, main
Yeah.
part about that.
Yeah, I had to go through that too.
Yeah. If just in case you guys don't know, it's not that hard to set up a Google My Business. It's really just type in Google My Business. You'll be able to click the link and it'll follow you right through.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's very, very valuable if you're a business owner. Get you a Google My Business.
Yes. So this thing shuts off at 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm just going to hit the button right now.
Okay.
Before it does.
That sounds good.
That's why I kept looking over. A lot of people think I'm looking at the time. Like, oh, is this over?
I know. I'm like, is he feeling antsy?
No. And I hate that I have to do that. That's why I wish I had a what do they call it? A producer, not a co-host, but a producer, I guess.
Oh.
Someone in the office who's manning everything, manning the switches, making sure everything's recording. So I don't have to keep looking
Yeah.
over
So
there.
you can just
Yeah.
do what you love. Talk to
And-
people.
Exactly. And I love doing that too, but I can't do both. I really want to I want to be focused. My focus is on you to have the best conversation ever. And this kind of distracts. I know that it probably makes some of my guests uneasy when I'm constantly looking over. I know they notice it. Like
Yeah.
there's no way they don't notice it, but I usually
Not a big deal, though.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. And I usually try to preface beforehand, but I can't remember every time. So.
Yeah. There's a lot to remember.
Yes. So, is there anything specific you'd like to promote today?
Oh,
Pinterest pantries.
I hesitated way too long. Don't do that. I was asking people to go check out my Facebook page.
Okay.
Because I do have before and afters on there.
Nice.
And that's really fun. People like to look at those. But then it also just, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can actually get a visual for what it is a home organizer
And a video
does.
is 1,000 pictures.
Oh, I've never heard that. Whoa.
Yeah. As a video, I don't even know if people say that. I'm sure someone else has said that before. But that's how I think of it as a video guy.
Ooh, that's really good. Yeah. So I do have some videos on there, but probably not enough. But yeah, if people want to check out my Facebook or my Instagram, they can see some of what I do. But I don't have anything specific to promote.
Okay.
Except for myself.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So Grace to Organize is what it's called?
Yep, Grace to Organize.
Just type that in Facebook and Google and YouTube. Do you have any?
I do have a YouTube.
Okay. Do you have a Pinterest?
I have a Pinterest.
Nice.
Yeah, like I said, I worked on my online presence.
Do you have boards for the Pinterest of like some cool pantries?
I don't have a pantry board, but I do have organizing boards.
Make a pantry board.
I will do that.
Even if it's your own photos, I'm sure there's probably lots of photos on Pinterest with pantries.
Oh, tons.
But yeah, I really want to promote that for you. Like, I think that's awesome. I think you said that you really love doing those.
I do.
It's not a typical thing, but like we can make it a typical thing.
I love it.
And I think that's more of like, it's providing that extra value. That's more of a premium service, I think.
Yes.
So you may even be able to charge a premium if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. So I guess this is the episode. We'll wrap it up. And this has been the Colorado Springs Business Podcast. I recently rebranded to the COS Business Podcast. That's always been the logo. So I was like, I kind of just want to keep it I like the way that it says COS Business kind of.
Oh, I didn't
so
notice
it's like a little pun.
That's cool.
I branded it to that. And also like it is the Colorado Springs Business Podcast and the COS Business Podcast. But I do want it to have a global reach, and I don't mind having entrepreneurs and business owners from across the world coming on the show.
Cool.
As long as they want to fly out here to Colorado Springs and do it. It'll still keep it in Colorado Springs. And most episodes, the goal is to mostly have entrepreneurs and business owners from and in Colorado Springs, from or in. And but the goal is also to have a bigger reach and to get people from all across the world, celebrity entrepreneurs, Gary Vaynerchuk, Oprah Winfrey. It'd be really cool if I got Oprah on.
Yeah.
And so celebrity entrepreneurs, business owners and entrepreneurs who are killing it wherever in the world are welcome on the show. It's just, COS Business Podcast. Colorado Springs Business Podcast. You got to come to Colorado Springs to do it. So
that's good. I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.